one more air app that I would like to highlight today is EcoDrive from Fiat, which is developed by AKQA. And they're actually here talking about it, doing a session later on. And it's an air application that's built in Flex that analyzes the data collected from the journeys of a Fiat car to assess the driving style of the owner. And then analyzes that data and makes some suggestions, determines the driver's EcoIndex, and teaches him or her how to become a more eco-friendly driver. So here to show you a little bit about this app are Rick Williams and Adam Krieger from AKQA.
Fiat EcoDrive represents a step change in the way that rich internet applications can access physical data. We needed to do three things with Fiat EcoDrive. It needs to make it cross-platform, it needs to access data from a USB key, and it needed to store that data in a database. So what we're going to do now is show you, thanks to Franco, how Fiat EcoDrive works.
This is Franco. Franco makes Fiats the eco-friendliest cars around, so they fit into our lives and not the other way around. He tests all our cars by asking Merv to drive them around tracks at different speeds to see how much CO2 they produce. The lower the emissions, the happier Franco is. But not all of us are clever like Merv, and we drive around cities and on tracks, which means higher emissions. Not good. So Franco had an idea. If we all drove like Merv, then our emissions would be really low. All he had to do was build a race of normal Mervs and take over the world. Realising that might be a bit scary, Franco had a better idea. EcoDrive. It plugs into your Fiat and watches how you drive. Then when you plug it back into your PC, it shows you how to get lower CO2 emissions and reduce your impact on the environment. Just like Merv, but without the robots. Franco's putting EcoDrive into most of our cars now, so everyone can be even eco-friendlier. Which makes Merv and Franco and everybody else very happy indeed. Fiat EcoDrive, car to PC in a USB.
Hello, so what you're seeing here is the front page of EcoDrive. We have two drivers, Franco and Merv, the characters you just saw, and they work together and share a PC. So Franco, we're going to talk about today, he drives a Fiat 500, sporty one, 1.4 16 valve, a white one. So let's look at what he's been doing over the last 6 days. This may look like just a normal line chart, but actually it represents a real change in the way we can work with our cars. Each point here represents the average EcoIndex on a day. As Mark mentioned, the EcoIndex is a score that describes how the driver is doing, and it's independent of the car they drive and the kind of driving they do, whether it be in a city or on the highway. So on the left of the screen we can see that Franco has been driving not so great. His EcoIndex is 48. On the right of the screen we can see he's improved a little bit, up to 61. Now, EcoDrive just isn't about telling you how you're driving, it wants to help you improve. And we can flick to the EcoDriving feature that gives lessons on how to improve your driving. But these aren't normal, regular lessons. We are using the data that has been in the car the whole time. For the last 10 years, your car knows how you drive. This is the first time it's been able to actually tell you. So we're going to take a look at the gear change lesson. So just an introductory screen with a bit of copy about telling you why gear changing is important and why changing gear at the right time can really affect your fuel economy. Now, this little flash animation actually uses real driving data. So, it's saying that first to second, Franco is good, but from third to fourth and the rest of the gears, Franco's got some work to do. So look at one of these in detail. Third to fourth, the ideal time to change gear is at about 1600 revs per minute. But Franco's doing it 2,900. Definitely room for improvement. So we'll flick through here. It says some tips. Don't rev too high and don't rest your foot on the clutch. And we're done. So let's skip forward a week and see how Franco's been driving now that he's been taking the tips from the EcoDrive lessons. So we insert a USB key. And the USB key contains the data from the car, and we start the import process. Now, there are about 40,000 lines of data being read from the USB key and imported into the SQL-like database. So if you have any doubts about Air's ability to handle large amounts of data, here's the proof that it can. So if we scroll down now to see the individual journeys, before we saw the daily summaries, now we actually see the individual journeys. So this journey here was on August the 22nd and had the EcoIndex of 84. That's much better. We can also see that it cost €1.15. We get the petrol prices from a web service specially curated for that service purpose. So the graph now looks much better. Franco's recently EcoIndex is 80, and if he drives like this all year, he would have saved €152 based on how he previously was driving. He would also save 279 kilos of CO2. And as an eco-driver, Franco is part of EcoVille. EcoVille is a community of all eco-drivers around the world, and together they have saved a CO2 rating of 102,000 kilos, which is the equivalent of powering every EcoVille's resident's home computer for approximately 250 hours. As more and more people use EcoDrive, EcoVille will grow, and you can quickly see how much of an impact the Fiat drivers have made to helping the environment.
We've got a deep dive into how we built the application. It's at 1:30 tomorrow in Blue 2. The title of the session is called The Seriously Sophisticated Application. And it will be a pleasure to see you there and take you through some of the difficulties that we overcame and some of the solutions that we found. Thank you very much.
Thank you.